Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. In a bustling city long ago lived a boy named Aladdin. Aladdin loved to play. He spent his days laughing and playing games in the lively streets with his friends. His mother, a kind woman, worried about his future, wishing he would find a good path. His father, a tailor, had passed away a while ago, leaving them to care for each other. One sunny day, a mysterious stranger approached Aladdin. "Hello there," the stranger said. "Are you not the son of Mustafa the tailor?" Aladdin nodded. "I am, sir, but my father passed away some time ago." The stranger smiled. "Why, I am your uncle. I knew you looked like my dear brother." He hugged Aladdin, pretending to be very fond of him. Aladdin, excited, rushed home to tell his mother. She was surprised, as she hadn't known his father had a brother. Still, she welcomed the uncle warmly, and he brought delicious fruits and sweet drinks. He said he had been traveling for many, many years, which was why they hadn't seen him. The uncle asked Aladdin what work he did. Aladdin looked down, a little shy, and his mother sighed, explaining that Aladdin hadn't settled on a trade yet. The uncle seemed very understanding. "Don't worry," he said with a wink. "I will help Aladdin. I will set him up with a shop and fill it with wonderful things." The next day, the uncle led Aladdin far outside the city, through lovely gardens and past bubbling fountains. Aladdin grew tired, but his uncle told exciting stories, making the journey seem shorter. At last, they reached a quiet valley between two mountains. "This is it," said the uncle. "I'm going to show you something truly amazing." He asked Aladdin to gather sticks, and soon a small fire crackled. The uncle sprinkled a mysterious powder onto the flames, whispering strange words. Suddenly, the ground before them rumbled gently, and a flat, square stone with a brass ring in its middle appeared. Aladdin felt a shiver of worry and tried to step back, but the uncle grabbed his arm firmly. "Don't be silly, Aladdin," he said, his voice now sharp. "There's a wonderful treasure down there, just for you. But no one else can touch it, so you must do exactly as I say." The idea of treasure made Aladdin forget his fear. He bravely grabbed the ring as he was told. The stone lifted easily, revealing a dark stairway. "Go down," commanded the uncle. "At the bottom, you'll find 3 large rooms. Walk through them carefully, without touching anything, or else you might be stuck there forever. These rooms lead to a beautiful garden filled with sparkling trees. Go through the garden until you see a little nook where a special lamp glows. Empty the lamp and bring it straight to me." The uncle then slipped a shiny ring onto Aladdin's finger. "This will bring you good luck," he said, with a cunning smile. Aladdin found everything just as the uncle had described. He carefully walked through the rooms, amazed by the sparkling garden fruits that looked like beautiful jewels. He found the glowing lamp, carefully emptied it, and hurried back to the cave entrance. "Quickly, Aladdin, give me the lamp," cried the uncle, his voice impatient. But Aladdin, feeling a little suspicious, said, "Not until I'm safely out of here." The uncle suddenly grew very, very angry. His face turned red, and he threw more powder on the fire, muttering a powerful spell. With a rumble, the stone rolled back into place, sealing Aladdin inside the dark cave. The uncle was no kind relative. He was a tricky magician who wanted the lamp's power for himself. He had tricked Aladdin, planning to leave him trapped in the cave once he had what he wanted. For 2 long days, Aladdin was trapped in the dark cave, feeling very sad and alone. He wished he could be home. As he clasped his hands together, wishing for help, he accidentally rubbed the shiny ring the uncle had given him. Poof! A shimmering tall figure appeared before him. It was a powerful genie. "I am the genie of the ring," a deep, kind voice boomed. "How may I help you?" "Master?" Aladdin, though surprised, felt no fear. "Please, genie," he said, "take me home." In a blink, the earth gently opened, and Aladdin found himself outside. He blinked in the bright sunshine, hurried home, and collapsed at his doorstep, tired but safe. When he awoke, he told his amazed mother everything. showing her the special lamp and the beautiful sparkling fruits, which were actually rare jewels. "Oh dear," his mother sighed. "We have no food in the house." Aladdin suddenly remembered the old lamp. "Perhaps this will help," he said. It was quite dusty, so his mother began to rub it clean. Whoosh! A magnificent grand genie appeared, even bigger and brighter than the first. "I am the genie of the lamp," it boomed. "What is your wish, master?" Aladdin's mother was so surprised, she nearly tumbled over. But Aladdin, feeling brave, quickly said, "Please, genie, bring us some delicious food." In an instant, a wonderful feast appeared. Silver plates piled high with tasty treats and refreshing drinks. Aladdin and his mother ate until they were full. Aladdin's mother was a little nervous about such powerful magic, but Aladdin explained that they could use the lamp and the ring to help them. And so, they learned to ask the genies for what they needed, never asking for too much, and they lived comfortably for many years. Years went by, and Aladdin grew into a kind and handsome young man. One day, he heard exciting news. The Sultan's daughter, Princess Jasmine, was known far and wide for her beauty and kindness. People were told to stay indoors so the princess could travel through the city in privacy. Aladdin, who had heard many wonderful stories about Princess Jasmine, wished he could just catch a glimpse of her. He found a quiet spot near the path she would take, where he could respectfully see her carriage pass. Just for a moment, the princess lifted her veil, and Aladdin saw her lovely face. He was immediately enchanted. He knew in his heart that she was the one for him. He hurried home, his head full of dreams, and told his mother, "Mother, I must ask the Sultan for Princess Jasmine's hand in marriage." Aladdin's mother, though surprised, loved her son very much. She agreed to take his request to the Sultan. She carefully wrapped some of the glittering magical fruits, which were truly priceless jewels, in a silk cloth. For days she waited patiently at the palace, hoping to speak with the Sultan. Finally, the Sultan noticed her. "Good woman," he said kindly, "what brings you here?" Aladdin's mother, a little nervous but brave, explained her son's heartfelt wish to marry Princess Jasmine. She then unfolded the silk cloth, revealing the dazzling jewels. The Sultan's eyes widened. He had never seen such magnificent gems. His Grand Vizier, a slightly grumpy man who hoped his own son would marry the princess, quickly suggested, "Your Majesty, this is a grand gift. Perhaps to be truly fair, you should ask the young man for an even bigger gift. Give him 3 months to gather something truly spectacular." The Sultan, thoughtful, agreed. "Tell your son," he told Aladdin's mother, "that if he can bring me 40 large basins brimming with jewels, carried by 80 servants, then I will consider his proposal in 3 months. Aladdin waited patiently, but just before the 3 months were up, his mother heard surprising news. The Grand Vizier's son was going to marry Princess Jasmine that very night. Aladdin was very disappointed, but then he remembered the powerful lamp. He rubbed it, and the Grand Genie appeared. "Genie," Aladdin said, "the Sultan seems to have forgotten his promise to me. Tonight, please bring Princess Jasmine and the Vizier's son here to my room, and then gently place the Vizier's son somewhere else for the night." The genie nodded and, at midnight, softly transported Princess Jasmine and the Vizier's son. The Vizier's son, feeling a little confused, found himself in a quiet, cozy room down the hall, while Princess Jasmine, though startled to find herself in a new place, was reassured by Aladdin. "Please don't be afraid, Princess," Aladdin said gently. "You are meant to be my wife, and I promise you will be safe here." The princess was very surprised by all this, but Aladdin helped her feel calm. He rested on a comfortable cushion nearby. Just before dawn, the genie quietly returned the vizier's son to his bed, and then transported them all back to the palace, as if they had never left. The next morning, the sultan came to greet his daughter. Princess Jasmine seemed a little quiet and thoughtful. The vizier's son also seemed quite puzzled. The Sultan, noticing his daughter's unusual quietness, gently asked what was wrong. Princess Jasmine, after taking a deep breath, explained how her bed had seemed to float to a different place during the night, and then brought back. It had been a most unusual experience. She also shared how Aladdin had reassured her. Her mother tried to convince her it must have been a very vivid dream. But when the exact same thing happened the next night, the Sultan grew very serious. He asked his daughter directly what had happened. This time, Princess Jasmine asked him to speak to the Vizier's son, who also admitted that strange things had happened in the night, and he simply couldn't explain it. He decided that perhaps he wasn't meant to marry the princess after all, and the wedding was called off. When the 3 months were finally over, Aladdin sent his mother to remind the Sultan of his promise. She presented the dazzling jewels and the long line of servants, all splendidly dressed, carrying 40 large basins overflowing with glittering gems and gold. The Sultan had never seen such a magnificent sight. He was so impressed that he invited Aladdin to the palace. Aladdin, after taking a luxurious bath and dressing in the finest robes, rode to the palace on a magnificent horse, with many more servants attending him. The people of the city cheered, amazed by his grandeur. The Sultan embraced Aladdin warmly and was ready to arrange the wedding immediately. But Aladdin, ever thoughtful, said, "Your Majesty, I must first build a palace truly worthy of Princess Jasmine." With the help of the genie, Aladdin's new palace appeared overnight. It was made of the most beautiful marble, sparkling with jasper, agate, and other precious stones. Inside, a grand hall shimmered with walls of gold and silver, and 24 windows gleamed with diamonds and rubies. One window, Aladdin cleverly left unfinished. A soft velvet carpet stretched from Aladdin's new palace all the way to the Sultan's. The Sultan was astounded. He tried to have his own jewelers finish the last window, but they could not find enough jewels to match it. Aladdin then had the genie complete it, showing the Sultan the magic of his magnificent new home. Aladdin became a beloved leader, serving as captain of the Sultan's armies and always showing kindness to everyone. He and Princess Jasmine were married in a joyful ceremony, and they lived happily together in their sparkling palace for several peaceful years. But far away, the tricky magician from before, who had trapped Aladdin in the cave, had discovered that Aladdin is doing very well. He knew it must be because of the special lamp, and he grew very, very grumpy and determined to get it back. He traveled a long, long way, all the way to Aladdin's city. When he arrived, he heard everyone talking about the marvelous new palace. The magician's eyes narrowed. He knew instantly that the lamp was behind it all. He decided to play a sneaky trick. He bought a basket full of shiny new lamps and walked through the city streets, calling out, "New lamps for old! New lamps for old!" A curious crowd gathered. Inside the palace, Princess Jasmine heard the commotion. A kind palace helper told her about the silly man exchanging new lamps for old ones. Another helper remembered an old, dusty lamp that Aladdin usually kept on a high shelf. Not knowing how truly special it was, Princess Jasmine, thinking it would be a funny exchange, suggested they trade that old lamp for a bright new one. A magician quickly took the old lamp, his eyes gleaming with triumph. He didn't care about the new lamps now. He hurried away, out of the city, to a quiet, lonely spot. When night fell, he eagerly pulled out the dusty lamp and rubbed it. Whoosh! The grand genie of the lamp appeared. "Genie," the magician commanded, "take this palace, with Princess Jasmine and everything in it, far, far away to a secret place in Africa." The next morning, the Sultan awoke and looked out his window, expecting to see Aladdin's beautiful palace. But it was gone. He rubbed his eyes, but it was truly gone. The Sultan was very, very upset. He sent for the Grand Vizier. "Where is Aladdin's palace? And my daughter?" he demanded, his voice trembling with worry. The Vizier suggested it must be magic. The Sultan was very, very concerned and sent his guards to bring Aladdin to him. Aladdin was riding home from a hunting trip when the guards met him. They brought him before the Sultan. The people of the city who loved Aladdin gathered around the palace, anxious to see what would happen. The Sultan, looking stern, pointed to the empty space where the palace once stood. "Aladdin," he said, "you must find my daughter and the palace, or there will be serious consequences." Aladdin was stunned, but he quickly promised to find them. "Give me 40 days, Your Majesty," he pleaded. "I will search everywhere for Princess Jasmine and bring her home safely." The Sultan agreed, and Aladdin, though feeling very worried, set out on his quest. For 3 days, Aladdin searched everywhere, feeling very discouraged. People couldn't help him, as they hadn't seen a magical palace float away. As he sat by a quiet river, feeling quite lost, he accidentally rubbed the special ring on his finger. Poof! The shimmery genie of the ring appeared. "What is your wish, master?" It boomed gently. "Oh, Genie," sighed Aladdin. "I need to find my palace and Princess Jasmine." "I can take you to the palace, master," said the genie. "But only the genie of the lamp can move the palace itself." "That's wonderful," said Aladdin. "Take me to Princess Jasmine." In an instant, Aladdin found himself far away, right under Princess Jasmine's window in Africa. He was so tired that he quickly fell asleep. When he awoke, birds were singing, and he felt a little better. He realized the tricky magician must have taken the lamp. Meanwhile, Princess Jasmine had been spending her days at the palace, being polite but firm with the magician, who kept trying to convince her to marry him. She longed for Aladdin to return. Just then, one of her helpers looked out the window and saw Aladdin. Princess Jasmine ran to the window, her heart leaping with joy. "Aladdin!" she cried. Aladdin quickly climbed up to meet her. They were overjoyed to see each other. "Princess," Aladdin asked, "do you know what happened to my old lamp? The one I left on the shelf?" Princess Jasmine felt a little sad. "Oh, Aladdin," she said, "I'm afraid I traded it for a new one. I didn't know it was special." Aladdin understood at once. "It was the sneaky magician," he declared. "Where's the lamp now?" "He keeps it with him always," Princess Jasmine said. "He even tried to tell me you were gone forever, but I knew you'd come back." Aladdin, ever clever, formed a plan. He found some simple clothes to change into and got a special magical powder. He returned to the palace. "Princess," he whispered, "you must pretend to be happy and invite the magician to dinner. Tell him you want to taste some special drinks from his country." Princess Jasmine, brave and determined, agreed. She put on her most sparkling dress and greeted the magician with a smile. The magician was so surprised and pleased. "I've decided," Princess Jasmine told him, "that I shouldn't be sad anymore, so I've invited you to dine with me. But I'd love to try a special drink from your land." The magician eagerly rushed off to fetch it. While he was gone, Princess Jasmine quickly put the special powder Aladdin had given her into his cup. When he returned, she offered him the drink. As the magician raised the cup to his lips, thinking of his clever victory, he took a big gulp, but instead of feeling happy, he suddenly felt very, very sleepy. His eyes fluttered, and he slipped into a deep, magical sleep that would last for a very, very long time. He would not be able to cause any more trouble. Princess Jasmine quickly opened the door for Aladdin. Aladdin took the precious lamp from the sleeping magician. "Genie of the lamp," he commanded, "take us and the entire palace back to our home in China." With 2 gentle jolts, the palace, with Princess Jasmine and Aladdin inside, shimmered and appeared right back in its place in China. The Sultan was sitting in his room, missing his dear daughter, when he happened to look up. He rubbed his eyes and gasped. There, outside, stood Aladdin's magnificent palace, just as before. He hurried outside, rushing to the palace. Aladdin and Princess Jasmine were waiting to greet him. Aladdin explained all that had happened, how the tricky magician had been outsmarted, and how the palace was now back home. The Sultan was overjoyed to have his daughter back. they celebrated with a grand feast that lasted for many days, and it seemed as if Aladdin and Princess Jasmine would live happily ever after. But you see, the tricky magician had a brother who was just as cunning and determined as he was. When he discovered his brother was no longer causing trouble, he decided to find Aladdin. He knew there was a kind and wise woman, a healer named Fatima, who was respected by everyone. The brother decided to play an even sneakier trick. He used a powerful spell to make Fatima take a very long, unexpected journey far, far away, so no one would see her for a while. Then he used his magic to make himself look exactly like Fatima, right down to her gentle smile and soft veil. He walked toward Aladdin's palace, and people, thinking he was the kind healer, gathered around him, asking for blessings. When Princess Jasmine heard the commotion, she asked her palace helper what was happening. "It's the wise Fatima," the helper said. "She's helping everyone with her gentle touch." Princess Jasmine had always wanted to meet the famous Fatima, so she sent for her. The false Fatima came to Princess Jasmine, offering kind words. Princess Jasmine was so delighted to finally meet the wise woman that she asked her to stay. The false Fatima, of course, gladly agreed, always keeping her veil down. Princess Jasmine showed her the magnificent hall with its sparkling windows. "It's truly wonderful," said the false Fatima, "but it's missing just one thing to make it perfect. If only a giant roc's egg could hang from the very center of the dome, it would be the most amazing sight in the world." After that, Princess Jasmine couldn't stop thinking about the roc's egg. When Aladdin returned from hunting, she told him, "My dear Aladdin," she said, "our beautiful hall would be truly perfect with a giant roc's egg hanging there." "If that's all it takes," Aladdin replied with a smile, "then you shall have it." He rubbed the lamp, and the grand genie appeared. "Genie," Aladdin commanded, "please bring us a roc's egg to hang in the palace hall." The genie's great voice boomed, but not with anger, with a strong warning. "Master," the genie said, "that's a very tricky request. Rocks are my kind, and asking for a roc's egg would mean great danger for me and for you. This idea was planted in your wife's head by the tricky brother of the magician you outsmarted. He is here, disguised as the kind Fatima, and he is trying to cause trouble for you. Be very careful, Master. He means to trick you." With that, the genie vanished. Aladdin, understanding everything, quickly thought of a plan. He went back to Princess Jasmine and pretended to have a headache. "My dear," he said, "would you please ask the wise Fatima to come and help me?" When the false Fatima came close, Aladdin, with a clever move, used a small enchanted charm he carried, which instantly revealed the magician's true form. The tricky magician shimmered and changed back into his own grumpy self. But before he could cast any more spells, the genie of the ring appeared in a flash and with a gentle whoosh, scooped up the magician and sent him far, far away to a place where his magic wouldn't work, and he could cause no more trouble. Princess Jasmine was astonished. "Oh, Aladdin," she cried, "you've truly saved us." Aladdin explained how they had been tricked. From that day on, Aladdin and Princess Jasmine lived happily and peacefully, ruling the kingdom with kindness and wisdom. Aladdin became a beloved sultan when his father-in-law passed away, and his reign was long and filled with joy.